I got one good question for you. Do you want to learn how to get a $10,000 credit card from Regions Bank? I'm going to walk you through the process step by step by step. So with that being said, you already know what time it is. Let's get right into What's up, family? I'm back with another one. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. So in today's class, we're going to talk about how to get approved for this $10,000 credit card from Regions Bank. And I'm going to guide you on how I did it so you can do the same thing and get the same exact results. So with that being said, go grab a pen, go get some paper, and you got to get you something to drink because class is going to be a good one. Hey, welcome to today's lesson. So in order to get approved for this credit card, I'm going to guide you through the process on what I took and the steps I did. So the first thing I did was I created a relationship with the bank. I went to Regions Bank and I opened up a checking account and a savings account and I deposited some money. I think it was like $100. And I also had a business account. So I also created, I set up a business account with them as well. So that don't matter. But the first thing you want to do is set up an account with the bank. Go to Regions, open up a checking account and just put about $20 into the account. You don't got to put much money or whatever the requirement is. I forgot what it was, but I think it was about $20 to $25. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you create a relationship first. So open up a checking account, open up a savings account, right? And after that, now what you want to do is before you apply for anything, you want to make sure your credit profile is properly set up. And here's all the wickets you need to hit when it comes to that, because here's what they check. They check TransUnion credit report. So freeze your Experian, freeze your Equifax. And so now that you know that Regions Bank only check TransUnion, you got to make sure your credit profile is hitting on all wickets. And I'm gonna break it down to you, right? So the first thing you want to make sure, hey, I always talk about this. You want to make sure this. So you want to have, I talked to the bank I talked to the representative at Regions Bank, and they said as long as you have a 680 or higher, they'll most likely approve you for the credit card, right? Not guaranteed, however, your chances are very high when it comes to Regions Bank, because the average they said is about a 680 depending on what state you in. However, if you have a 680 or higher, just make sure you have a 680 or higher FICO score, not Credit Karma, because I know a lot of people look at Credit Karma, but your FICO score. If you want to get your FICO score, go to Experian.com or myfico.com, right? You can go ahead and get your FICO score. There's some other places you can get it, but those are the two main places. Or Credit Check Total, same thing, they powered by Experian. So make sure you have at least a 680 or higher credit score. Now, the better your credit score, the better kind of card you get, better interest rate and everything when it comes to that. But to make sure you get approved for this credit card, you want to make sure you're at least at a 680, right? And you're at 100% payment history. That's key to making sure that you can get approved for a credit card. Your utilization. Now, if you have multiple credit cards, you want to make sure that your utilization is below 10%. I know people tell you 30%, but that's average, below 10%. The lower your utilization, the better, because not just overall. So if you have 4 or 5 credit cards, make sure all of them are below 10%, because if it's above 50%, they're gonna hit you and you might get a lower credit limit. So if you wanna get a $10,000 credit limit, you wanna make sure your utilization is very, very low, right? Derogatory marks, you want to make sure you have no collection, no charge off, repossession, eviction, bankruptcy, none of that, right, on your credit report. You want to have nothing. Now, if you have a collection in the last 2 years, 3 years ago, you might get approved. However, you don't want to take that chance. So make sure you have no derogatory marks. Make sure you have nothing. Now, your credit age, you want to have at least 2 years credit age, right? 2 years, at least average. Now, if you have 1.5 years, whatever, that's okay. But 2 years is a good plus. So make sure you have at least 2 years credit age when it comes to applying for this credit card. Now, the next thing you want to make sure you have is multiple accounts, right? You want to have revolving accounts. You want to make sure you have installment accounts. Now, revolving accounts consider your credit cards, store cards, charge cards. Your revolving accounts, your installment accounts consider your student loan, personal loan, car loan. All those consider installment accounts. So you want to have a mixture of both. Now, hard inquiries, you want to make sure you have 3 or less in the last 6 months, right? Because if you apply for more than multiple credit cards in the last 6 months, you're going to look thirsty to the bank. So make sure you have 3 or less when it comes to hard inquiries. So just make sure this is key before you apply for anything. Now, after that, also what you want to make sure you have is multiple credit cards that have at least 2,000, I mean not 2,000, at least have one credit card that has a $5,000 limit. Now, in order to make sure you have that, if you have a credit card that's at 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000, ask for a limit increase before you actually apply, because what's gonna happen is Regions Bank's gonna match that, and most likely you're gonna get approved for like a $6,000, $7,000 limit, and then you call in to increase it for 10. So that's the trick. Or most likely they'll give you a 10,000. Now, if you already have a $10,000 credit card on your profile, then they most likely gonna match it. So make sure you're hitting on all those wickets. So for my people that have derogatory marks, right? For my people that have derogatory marks on their credit report, I want you to follow this process, right? I don't know if you know this process or not. However, I want you to follow this process to make sure you clean up your credit. And if you don't have time, you can always click the link in the description, call my team, and reach out to them. So I have, just click the link in the description, call my team so we can go ahead and get started on your credit. However, if you want to do it, this is the process you need to follow, right? So it's very simple. It's 7 steps. Now, the first thing you want to do is get clear on what you really want, whether that's a house, car, funding for your business, whatever you're trying to get, you need to get clear on that first. Now, once you get clear on what you really want, reverse engineer that goal and work backwards to get to that goal. Now, the second thing you want to do is analyze your credit report. Now, I have the link in the description. Grab your credit report and see what's really hurting your credit score, right? Now, you should notice on Credit Karma that you have a few things. However, we don't use Credit Karma to dispute. We just use Credit Karma to see what's on our credit profile. Now, or updates as well. So after you analyze your credit report, now what you want to do is clean up your personal information. This part is very key. 99% of people skip this step. So make sure you don't skip this step because you know the information. So clean up your personal information, your name, your address, right? You have multiple, or your name is probably misspelled. Your address, you have multiple address, and it's probably misspelled, wrong apartment number, a lot of things to be going on, right? They probably have your wrong job history. They probably have your wrong phone number. You might have your spouse. You might have a lot of information on there. You can go to Experian.com, go to Dispute Center, act as if you're about to dispute online, but don't dispute online, and grab all that personal information because it's going to show you all the accounts that are attached to those negative addresses, right? I mean, all those negative accounts attached to those addresses. So remove all that personal information. Now, once you do that, the next thing is freezing the snitches. Now, there's so many snitches on there. I mean, there's so many snitches out there. LexisNexis, CoreLogic, SafeStream, Innovis, ARS. There's so many, right? Like so many. So make sure you hush them up. Now, once you hush them up, you want to make sure you set everybody up. Now, set everybody up with the secret letter. Hey, make sure you get the secret letter. Now, use the secret letter to set everybody up, send it to Experian, send it to TransUnion, send it to Equifax, send it certified, add 2 forms of identification, right? Make sure the picture is clear because you don't want to get hit in the mail saying that they couldn't verify your information, right? It's called stall letter. So we don't want to make sure you get that. So make sure you take a clear picture so they can see and run that. Now, next thing you want to do in the meantime is building your credit, right? What I mean by building your credit, you want to add some accounts on your credit, right? If you don't have none at all. So if you already have positive accounts, you don't have to build credit. But if you don't have a positive account, or if you don't have a revolving account, you want to start adding some accounts. There are multiple videos I'll show you on accounts you can add on your credit report. But after that, 30 days should have gone past, and then you want to use the KO method, right? 2 things is going to happen. You want to get your investigation back. Now, what I mean by your investigation is what happened with the results that you send in the secret letter. So you told us the credit bureaus to check everything on your credit report. So make sure they do a proper investigation, right? Check your open date, date last active, all that information. And then once the results come back, 2 things is going to happen. Either the account got updated or the account got verified or the account got removed. Now, the account got removed, you good. If it got updated, we know they didn't do a proper investigation because according to the law, I'll break it down to you. They didn't do, I promise you, they didn't do a proper investigation. So you hit them on all the laws they broke, send it to the CFPB, use the Attorney General's office, use the BBB, and show all the evidence on how they violated your rights. And this is how you get results. Now, if you don't have time to do none of that, hey, just schedule a call right here, call this number right here, and make sure we're gonna get back to you. But just call this number, send a text message, leave a voicemail. If we don't get back or we don't pick up on the first time or second time, just leave a text message, leave a voicemail, and we'll get back to you. So call this number.